This is a walkthrough of how to set up asymmetrical walls and mezzanines in differing heights. Here's the sheet. There's a gym area here, and then off to the left, there is a mezzanine, a second story workout area as well. Just to look at the elevation view, there's level 1 for most of it. There's actually different height walls on level 1, and then this portion has a second mezzanine level, and then of course this wall is asymmetrical. So I'm gonna walk through how to set this up in HVAKR to get accurate wall areas readings for the project. So first I'm gonna bring in the sheet. I've already got the scale set up. This is what it looks like, and it's already imported. Setting up this sheet, I am on level 1, and I've got my primary area here. This portion is actually level 2, so I'm going to go up to level 2. I'm actually going to place that sheet again, and I'm just going to crop down to the portion that I need for level 2. So there's level 2 area. It's going to be somewhere right over here on top of level 1. For level 1, I can crop out that portion, and then I'm going to set a marker right at this intersection H1, go up to level 2 so that I can line that up. That's going to be level 1, level 2. Now, setting up my spaces, I'm going to create the spaces, and I want to make sure that my spaces are divided by these different wall heights as well. So especially on level 1, this portion is going to be separate, and then I'll go to whatever level of detail I need. I'm going to keep it very generic for this project and just do big spaces. This is meant to demonstrate the walls, not actually do like space by space. So the first portion here, set that up going down to here. I'm going to click again there because we get to the exterior portion. We go here, here, and then this portion right here is also where we start to have different wall heights. So that's going to be one section with one wall height there. This portion also has the same wall height as the space that I just created. So I'm going to take that off. And then the way you can identify your wall heights is when you select a space, you will see your slab to slab heights there for these spaces. So this is showing me 12 foot slab to slab for these two spaces. Now this space over here has a different wall height. So when I create this space, I'm going to adjust this. Instead of 12 feet, maybe it's 14 feet slab to slab. So that's now accounted for. Again, this portion over here, slightly higher slab to slab than this portion right here. Now let's do the double height space over to the left. So first, level 1 is going to be one height, and I'll go ahead and take this all off, kind of an occupied area here. And this, I'm going to stick to the same slab to slab as this one here. So this is also 12 foot, but then I'm going to go up, and this is where I start to account for asymmetrical wall heights. Important thing to remember here is we're not creating a 3D model. We're just trying to get accurate areas for our walls. So I can split this up into as many spaces I want to try and get the accurate areas. I'm just going to do 2. So one space, I'm going to go here like that. This is going to be one wall height, and that's this portion right here. So this is showing me 5.9 meters from ground to the edge of this roof, which if you subtract the first floor, that's going to get me 3.2 meters for this dimension right here, going from here to here. And then I'm not going to use that number. I'm also not going to use the total number here. I'm going to find the number in the middle so that my wall height is correct. So instead of 3.2 meters, I'm going to do like 3.5 meters, or if we're doing something like, if we're using feet, instead of 12 feet here, I might do like 13 feet for this portion. Then for this area over here, I'm going to create one space for the occupied area, and then I'm going to create another space here for the void area. So this is open to below. However, there's still space here on level 2, and I'm just going to create this so that I can capture the exposures here, and then I will zone it together with the space below, or whatever system is accounting for this area here. Now, one thing to note here is these spaces, I'm going to assign an occupied space. This will be a gym area, so I will create that space type for the gym. I will assign these spaces gym. This space right here is going to be void, essentially unoccupied, no plug loads, no people loads, just void, so that I can assign an exterior to it and capture the exterior load. And then, like I said, I will zone that with these spaces here, or possibly the space below. Then for these spaces over here, because of our asymmetrical wall, the slab to slab height gets higher over in this portion. I'm going to adjust the slab to slab height for these spaces. So this one is 13, and I'm going to represent a step up and capture maybe like 15 for these spaces over here. We're going to see that step up, but really I'm trying to capture the average wall area. Then once these spaces are all set up, I can go ahead to envelope and start creating my envelope. So my walls, say it's a metal building wall, I'm going to go ahead and assign exterior walls there, and then I'm going to go up a level, and this portion is exterior as well. So assigning my exterior walls there, and if we were to look at the preview so far, this is what we're looking at. So on level 1, we've got differing wall heights here for level 1. So this portion right here, to compare, this portion's higher, this is kind of our standard, and then this portion is asymmetrical. This is what we're looking at. So this portion is higher, this is our standard portion, and this is asymmetrical. You can see we kind of have the step up. It's not an exact slope, but I set the slab to slab heights so that it's the correct amount of wall area. So I'm basically choosing an average height and using that so that it has the correct amount of south-facing wall, and it's assigned to the correct spaces. Also, you see here, this is exterior wall right here. That's a part of this area, this zone, and this accounts for that as well. Up on level 2, there's additional exterior wall here, whereas below it, it's all conditioned interior. That's how you handle asymmetrical walls, mezzanine spaces, double height spaces. I like to create a space, like I showed you here, even for unoccupied areas, for that atrium area. I create a space for that for the purpose of assigning walls to that space, and that way, as you can see from the preview here, I have the correct amount of wall area for this project. One note, you'll see there's like a gap right here between level 1 and level 2. That is because this is not a 3D model. This is a 3D representation of your data, of your inputs. And by default, to create this view, we just stack levels on top of each other based on whatever space on the level has the highest slab to slab height. So in my case, this area over here has a higher slab to slab height. And so by default, when we create this preview, it just stacks level 2 on top of whatever that height is. So this is driving, this 14-foot slab to slab here is kind of defining where level 1 stops and where level 2 starts. And so because this area over here is just 12-foot slab to slab, it shows that there's a gap here. Level 2 looks like it's floating. In actuality, it's not. The loads are the same. There's not like a gap in your construction. It's still showing you the correct amount of wall area, and it's not like I have a slab on grade right here or anything else. This is just a representation of your areas. So that's how you would handle something like this. You would want to be cognizant of where you're creating spaces, where you're starting and stopping them, so you can assign different slab heights, and that's going to give you the proper wall areas. Up on level 2, yeah, you can split up areas into multiple spaces so you can have that stepping effect, or you could just create one big space and choose an average height so that you have the right amount of area. And then if you're asking about roof, when I assign a roof to this area, I can also choose a roof pitch so that it actually has a slope associated with it. So if I were to choose like a 20-degree grade west facing, then I can choose a roof type and apply that roof to these areas, and it's going to give me that slope as well. 20 is too steep. It should have been much more gradual. But anyways, that's how you would account for that. Hope that helps. This is a great example project because it has different wall heights on the same level, as well as an asymmetrical wall in a kind of a double height space open to below atrium area. So it hits on a number of more sophisticated geometries, and this kind of shows how to capture those in HVAKR.